One former NYPD detective says, good thing Shahzad was such a coward, or we'd be mourning victims right now. That detective is here with us right now. Meet good friend Tommy Ruskin. Tom, what do you mean he was a coward?
If he was a real terrorist under the real name of terrorism, he would have stayed in the car. He would have fought off police until that car exploded. He was chicken. He not only probably failed terrorist camp, but he left and came back here to try and detonate a bomb and left, and he basically failed at his mission.
You get grades at terrorist camp?
Whether he's a real terrorist or not, he still posed a threat to this country. I mean, I don't think you can discount that at all.
No, not at all. And I'm not meaning to make light of it, but terrorists who are real terrorists, who really are devoted to their cause, would stay with that car. If the car had been able to light up a little bit longer, chances are the car would have exploded and caused
I get your
damage.
point, but I don't think that makes me feel any better.
No, it doesn't make it. What happened here is the government, in certain ways, after we knew who it was, missed him. He gets to the airport, he buys a one-way ticket, again for cash, no luggage, and he's on a terror watch list, and they don't even match it up. The airline allows him to board and allows the plane to pull away from the gate.
That's outrageous.
That's what's scary.
Yes.
And that's what this government is not realizing, that they have to get the computer systems that are going to tie to the manifest list.
Well, Tom, even aside from what happened at the airport, the actual event itself, you know, we've had Obama and the commissioner here and the mayor, Bloomberg, all cite, hey, the police department did a great job. And yes, they did do a great job. But at the same time, the only reason it didn't go off was because the guy blew it. The terrorist himself failed.
That's correct, because he didn't properly rig it. It's not that easy to rig a bomb like that with the detonator and the timer. Thank God. And thank God he wasn't trained properly in how to do it, because otherwise we would have had a lot of casualties, if not hundreds of people injured, possibly killed in Times Square. If you see the pictures of Times Square at the time he's pulling through the intersection at 45th Street and Broadway, it's packed with people. Packed with people, not to mention all the vendors.
After the fact.
Well, that's after the fact. That's after they've cordoned off the area, and the police department. I think we have to give kudos to the police department. They knew who he was within 48 hours. And the fact of the matter is, the fact that they lost him on the way to the airport is not significant. The fact that he can board a plane and almost flee this country is significant to me.
Hey, Tom, a couple of things real quick. Shahzad, this guy's last name, Abdul Muttalib, the Christmas Day underpants bomber's last name, Hassan, the guy who blew away 13 people at Fort Hood. Should we be allowed to profile now? These are clearly Muslim names. These are clearly Muslims who are carrying out these attacks. Is it okay to profile? You see someone in Times Square on a camera. By the way, there's a bunch more cameras going up right now. Pull them over, find out what's going on.
We should be able to use profiling in certain instances. At airports, we know that an old Jewish woman with Nordstrom bags is not really the profile of a terrorist. So should we give more screening to those people who are potential targets? In my opinion, absolutely.
So we just let them win the war.
So
we let them win the war, because it becomes a slippery slope. We no longer have individual rights in this country if we have a Muslim name.
No, I mean, I think, Tom, what you were saying before, where the guy, he went with no luggage. He bought a one-way ticket. I mean, in that case, it's correct to profile because he fits the profile.
On the actions, not on the name.
Well, I mean,
and also maybe also where he's traveling.
Contributes and where he's traveling.
He's also traveling. Why doesn't the computer system match up with the airline to a no-watch list that flags it for the government? Why doesn't the government see this guy's buying a ticket within the last couple hours? He could be a businessman. He could be a legitimate businessman. Businessmen normally don't buy tickets with cash, and they normally don't board a plane without luggage unless they're going to Chicago for like a couple-hour meeting.
Close that loop then between what Eric's saying and what I'm saying is, in other words, you're saying, and Rebecca's saying, maybe we profile based on actions. We don't profile based on last names, but we do need to profile. Is that what you're saying?
Correct.
That's, by the way, that's not what I'm saying.
You're saying you should profile based on last name.
Wait,
Cody, look at what's going on. Of the last, 10 or 15 terror attempts or attacks here in the U.S., they've all had Muslim last names.
Wait a minute.
We lose the war when we profile by name.
Having a drink at the bar that we should single him out and call the police on him.
I'm simply saying,
yes or no?
You could, yeah, sure. There's nothing illegal about that, is there, Rebecca?
But that, I
don't have a problem with it. You know, I think politically correctness has gone amok.
The guy's over there saying, not me, not me.
Tom, what about this?
Don't racial profile or discriminate against me.
Political correctness aside, do we need to be profiling based on last names if they are close enough to a Muslim who has, in the past, committed a terrorist attack?
I don't think based on last name. I think based on the history, as Eric's saying, that a Middle Eastern man flying on a flight.
Yes.
So that's based on actions, then. It's
based on actions, but it's also based on the nationality of the person, not necessarily the last name. Because she's Gomez doesn't necessarily make her stand out because she's Hispanic.
Well, in Arizona, I would.
But I'm well, in Arizona, you better carry your ID.
I better, yeah.
But relative to just last name, no. But it's based on actions, where you're flying, how you're flying, do you pay cash?
Yeah.
Is it a one-way ticket? Do you have
I think that's a no-brainer.
And did you book it at the last minute? Remember, he's on his way to the airport. He's lost the FBI, the Joint Terrorist Task Force, and he's booking a ticket. Why don't they then look on the watch list at that point in time? Because he fits the profile. It's like a flare going on.
Yeah. Guys, what I was... Oh, we got to go. Darn. I was trying to get in that they're saying that the airline dropped the ball on this one because he was on the no-fly list. It was in the computer
Very quickly, I think the airline and the government dropped the ball on this one.
Okay.
Tom,
thank you very
Good
much.
to see you, man.
Very, very good conversation. All right, folks, chime in on this. What do you think about? We've talked